Welcome back to GamingSafeSpace, the channel where we dive deep into the gaming world, share our honest thoughts, and sometimes rant about the stuff that drives us up the wall. Today I've got a topic that's been eating at me for a while: PlayStation exclusives and their obsession with making us play as secondary characters. Look, I get it. Sony's exclusives are some of the best in the biz. Stunning visuals, killer stories, gameplay that hooks you for hours. But lately, I've noticed a trend that's starting to grind my gears. They keep shoving us into the shoes of sidekicks and support characters when all I want is to be the main hero. Today, we're breaking this down with some big examples: Mary Jane in Spider-Man, Atreus in God of War, and a few others that might surprise you. So, grab your controller, and let's get into it.
Unholy war, but demons are coming.
First off, let's be real. PlayStation exclusives have been the gold standard for years. Games like The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Ghost of Tsushima, they're why people buy a PS5, right? These titles sell consoles because they deliver experiences you can't get anywhere else. But here's the thing. As much as I love swinging through New York or slashing through Norse mythology, there's this recurring pattern where developers go, "Hey, you know the badass protagonist you signed up for? How about we make you play as their buddy instead?" It's not always a deal breaker, but it's starting to feel like I'm being sidelined in my own game. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders: Marvel's Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man, developed by Insomniac Games, is hands down one of the best superhero games ever made. Swinging around as Peter Parker, webbing up bad guys, and diving off skyscrapers, it's pure adrenaline. I mean, who doesn't want to be Spider-Man? But then, out of nowhere, the game says, "Hold up, let's switch things up. How about you play as Mary Jane Watson instead?" Now, don't get me wrong, MJ is a great character. She's smart, brave, and Peter's rockin' the story. But when I booted up this game, I didn't sign up to be an investigative journalist sneaking around warehouses. I wanted to be the web-slinging hero, not the one hiding behind crates, avoiding guards like it's some budget stealth game. In the 2018 Spider-Man game, you get these MJ sections where she's digging into clues or dodging enemies to help Peter out. And sure, it adds variety to the pacing, and I get that they're trying to flesh out her role beyond just being the girlfriend. But every time those missions pop up, I'm sitting there thinking, can I just swing back into action already? It's even worse in Spider-Man 2, where MJ gets more screen time and a stun gun. Cool, I guess, but I'd rather be sticking Craven to a wall with webbing than zapping goons as a sidekick. It's not that I hate MJ, it's that I paid to be Spider-Man, not his backup crew. Let's move on to another heavy hitter: God of War, specifically the 2018 reboot and its sequel, Ragnarok. Kratos is the ultimate gaming icon. The guy's a walking tank with a beard that screams, "I've seen some stuff." Wielding that Leviathan axe, tearing through Norse gods, it's everything I want in an action game. But then there's Atreus, his son. Atreus is awesome as a companion. He's got his bow, he's calling out enemies, and the father-son dynamic is the heart of the story. I'm all in for that. But then Ragnarok hits, and suddenly, I'm playing full-on sections as Atreus, running around, shooting arrows, and doing kid stuff. Look, I get it. Atreus is growing up, and the game wants to show his perspective. The developers at Santa Monica Studio poured their souls into making him a fleshed-out character, and the story wouldn't hit as hard without him. But when I'm controlling Atreus, I can't help but feel like I'm stuck in a weaker, less epic version of the game. Kratos is out there smashing giants, and I'm over here platforming through forests with a bow that feels like a toy compared to the axe. It's not that I don't like Atreus, I just don't want to be him. Give me the Ghost of Sparta, not the Ghost of Sparta's babysitting gig. Okay, let's talk about a controversial one: The Last of Us Part 2. This game is a masterpiece in storytelling, but it's also a prime example of this secondary character trend. You start off as Ellie, the gritty survivor we've loved since the first game. She's on a revenge mission, and I'm locked in, ready to take down anyone in her path. But then, bam, halfway through, the game switches you to Abby, the woman who killed Joel, Ellie's surrogate dad. Suddenly, I'm playing as the antagonist, or at least someone I really don't want to root for at first. Naughty Dog's goal here was bold. Make you empathize with Abby, see her side of the story, and blur the lines between hero and villain. And yeah, it works. Her sections are intense, and her character arc is deep. But as a player, I was fuming. I didn't want to be Abby swinging her hammer and fighting Ellie. I wanted to stay with Ellie, finish what we started. For hours, I'm forced into Abby's shoes, and while the narrative payoff is strong, it felt like a betrayal of why I picked up the game. I signed up for Ellie's journey, not a field trip with her enemy. Now let's circle back to Spider-Man 2 for a sec, because it's not just MJ getting the spotlight. Miles Morales is a co-lead in this game, and I know what you're thinking. Miles isn't a secondary character, he's Spider-Man 2. Fair point. Miles got his own game with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and he's a badass in his own right with those electric powers and slick moves. But in Spider-Man 2, there's this weird dynamic where Peter's still the OG Spidey, the one with the symbiote storyline, the big emotional beats. Miles feels like he's tagging along sometimes, and when I'm forced to switch to him for certain missions, it's like, okay, cool, but where's Peter? It's not as bad as MJ or Atreus, because Miles is a hero in his own right, but it still feeds into this pattern of splitting focus away from the main draw. I love Miles, but when I'm deep in Peter's symbiote arc, I don't want to detour into Miles' school drama. It's like the game can't decide who it wants me to be, and I end up feeling tugged in two directions. So, why does this keep happening? And why does it bug me so much? I think it's a mix of storytelling ambition and gameplay variety. Developers like Insomniac, Santa Monica, and Naughty Dog are pushing boundaries, trying to make these games more cinematic, more like interactive movies. They want us to connect with the whole cast, not just the headliner. And yeah, switching characters can shake up the pacing. Stealth with MJ, archery with Atreus, brute force with Abby. It keeps things fresh technically. But here's my beef. When I buy a game called Spider-Man or God of War, I'm here for the titular hero. I don't want to spend chunks of my playtime as the sidekick or the rival. It's like ordering a pizza and getting half salad. Sure, the salad's fine, but I didn't sign up for it. These secondary character sections often feel slower, less powerful, and honestly, less fun. I want the full hero fantasy. Give me the web-slinging, the axe-throwing, the Ellie revenge vibes, not the supporting cast simulator. Now, to be fair, I get the other side. These characters aren't just tacked on. They're vital to the story. MJ's investigations drive Spider-Man's plot forward. Atreus is Kratos' emotional anchor. Abby's perspective flips The Last of Us on its head in a way that's unforgettable. Without these sections, the games might feel shallower, less human. And some folks love the variety. I've seen comments online where players say they enjoyed MJ's stealth or Atreus' growth. That's cool, and I respect it. But for me, it's a distraction from what I came for. If I want a sidekick story, give me a spin-off, like Miles Morales got, not a forced detour in the main event. Where does this leave us? PlayStation exclusives are still king, no question. The production value, the passion, it's unmatched. But this trend of making us play as secondary characters, I could do without it. Give me Kratos, give me Peter, give me Ellie. Let me be the hero from start to finish. What do you think? Are you cool with playing as MJ, Atreus, or Abby? Or do you want the spotlight on the main star too? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to hear your takes. If you enjoyed this rant, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and ring the bell so you don't miss my next deep dive. I've got more gaming hot topics coming your way. Until then, see you in the next one.